Down in the place to be. Forget your cares and the more, most definitely.
What goes on, guys? We're back here again today with yet another review, and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Target exclusive Trainer Team Series Jazware's Pokemon Select Samurott. And I'm very happy to get this. I found it 3 days ago, and then they told me I couldn't buy it at checkout, and I hate that. I don't care what anybody says. The whole street dating thing is stupid because certain stores will let you, certain stores won't, so it just makes absolutely no sense to me. I really hate it, and it's probably my biggest action figure pet peeve. But what I don't hate is how awesome this figure looks. Taking a look at the box here, it's pretty par for the course of what we've seen from this series so far. I mean, you get some cool artwork on the side. I kind of think the boxes are a little plain and kind of big, so if you are an inbox collector, they might be hard to keep. But I also understand that, like, the figures in them are usually pretty big and kind of need a big box. So you can see on there's the barcode if you're looking for them. And then you get the other figures, which I do have a review for these two and Charizard. Charizard's one of my earliest reviews, so it's probably not that good. But Typhlosion and Dragapult, I also have them as well. Really nothing else on the box. I guess now this line is a Target exclusive, but Charizard came up at random places, and I saw them at Walmart a couple times. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and open this guy up. So getting Samurott out of the packaging, this is pretty cool. It's definitely not my favorite from this series though. I'm always just happy to get new Pokemon, but I have to say this may be one of my least favorites so far. Just for a couple reasons. It's mostly in the articulation and excuse me, and the fact that I'm not the biggest Samurott fan. I gotta be honest, I think the Oshawott line is one of the biggest decreases in Pokemon history, which sucks because I love Oshawott. I forget the second evolution's name, something with a D, I think, but I think Samurott, like, is kind of an ugly design. So then you're probably wondering, well, why did you get it? One, I'm kind of a completionist on this line. I have everything so far, and I plan on continuing to get everything because I want cool Pokemon. And two, buying him can lead to more cool things in the future. I mean, they just revealed Tyranitar or Lavatar. Yeah, no, it was Tyranitar. And Mewtwo. And there was somebody else that they just revealed too. But anyway, I'm very excited for those. So I gotta suck it up, right? It was only $20 plus, you know, not that bad. But I think he looks great. Taking a look at the head sculpt here, I think it looks awesome with this whole, like, shell thing. I never really realized that he's a seal. Like, I just thought it was like a weird design, and then, like, I was like, oh, he's a seal. I get it, I guess. I don't know how you go from two otters to a seal. They're very different animals, but, you know, whatever. You get the cool spike on the top. I do love the mustache, the beard thing. It looks great. They're separate pieces, so it's very clean. The eyes are very clean on there, and so is the nose. Gotta tilt that in a little bit for you guys. The nose looks great. The body is also painted pretty cleanly. The lines could be a little bit more crisp, in my opinion. Also, there's a little smudge on his beard stash. I don't really know what you would call that there. His toesies are painted, which is pretty cool on all the legs. They're kind of like hooves, which also doesn't make sense because seals don't have hooves, but this is definitely supposed to be like a seal sea lion, right? Then the base, like, of his belly looks good, and then he does have some paint on his tail. Again, it's a little choppy in certain places, but I do like the way that the tail looks, which also doesn't really make sense. Like, I don't know what animal Samurott is supposed to be. Like I said, he is not my favorite evolution at all. In fact, he's probably one of my least favorites, other than, like, Emboar. I am not a fan of Emboar, but which Emboar's from this generation too, isn't he? No, he was with Snivy and no, wasn't he? I don't know. Whatever. I get so confused. It's whatever, but he does come with a good amount of accessories, which I do like that. So as you can see here on his forearms, these little shell things have slots in them. That is for the two smaller daggers. So I believe that they just get put in here when you're not using them. I didn't know this until I took it out. So you can have them like that. It kind of would have been nice to have a peg hole, but then I don't know. So they'll stay there for the most part. I mean, if you flip them upside down, they will come out, but obviously he's going to be pretty much, he's not very posable. Well, spoiler alert, he's not very posable. But you can put them like this, which is pretty cool. But if you want them holding them, you can also do that too. So the figure stand may be able to allow you that. What I don't really like using figure stands unless I absolutely have to. But what I was doing was using his tail as a trifold and then pegging the smaller daggers in his hands like that. So there are peg holes on the handles to these things, and then boom. I think that looks pretty awesome. So you can get that going. But then if you don't like that, which for me personally, I'm not going to use those. I'm definitely going to have him posed with his big sword. So you do get the big sword, pretty much exactly what you expect. It's flat on one side. I don't know if that's accurate. It kind of looks a little weird, not going to lie. But yeah, that looks pretty cool. So he's not, he'll be able to hold it. You just gotta kind of balance him a little bit without the stand. I mean, he will be able to. You just gotta balance it, and then, like I said, if you want, you can pop these. That fucked up all the balancing, but you can pop them in there and get him to stand around. So yeah, it's definitely doable. But he can be a little finicky, and if you're somebody like me who doesn't like to use figure stands, which he also does come with, which is cool because they did give him a modified peg, so there's a little hinge there. His isn't the super long one. It just goes right into his chest, which helps a little bit, but I don't want this big base here. It's ugly to me. So he can stand without the stand, but I do really like that he comes with accessories. I mean, I think technically now he came with the most accessories out of any figure in the series, because I think the only other figure that came with actual accessories, I know Typhlosion's flame came off, but I think the only other one that came out with accessories was Greninja. He came with his throwing water stars. Other than that, I think that's it. So yeah, let's take a look at his articulation, because I think that's my biggest problem with this figure. So going into the articulation, you do get a swivel at the top of the head, and I don't know if there's a hinge in there. I really think it's just a swivel. There's really no way that with this design that it would be able to move up and down. So they did that at the base of the neck, which is pretty cool. But here's my first problem. You can't rotate the base of the neck, and it's not a ball peg. I think they should have just made it a ball peg so you could get some tilt, because you can only get swivel and hinge, and that just makes for really awkward posing. Whereas if they just did a ball joint, it could have done a lot more, because it could have moved around in there. It's pretty round. It's not I don't know. It's just awkward to me. So I'm not a big fan of that. The shoulders will rotate only that far forward and back. They don't go all the way around. Again, just make it a big ball peg. And if they did, they didn't do it well. So they hinge up, they go down, and it'll rotate that far forward, that far back. It's not terrible, actually. I actually just pushed it a little bit more and got it out further than I thought it could do. Yeah, I might take that back. I guess that's good enough. I don't know what else you'll really need them to do. You do get a hinge and swivel at the shoulder, or the elbow there. And then the wrists also swivel and hinge. So you can definitely finagle it, but I think more rotation at the shoulder would have benefited him a little bit more. It's not that the posing is bad, because they did what they could with the design. It's not the most fun, and it makes things pretty awkward. You do get a hinge at the abs that do not rotate very much at all, which again, I don't know why they just didn't make it a nice big tight ball peg, but you do get the hinge at the hips. They go down, and then I guess at the knee. You do get a hinge and a little bit of swivel, and then a hinge and swivel at the foot. So not bad. And then just a hinge at the tail, which I do like. So again, it's more his design that really does not allow for cool articulation, but it just kind of is a question that I really have with this whole line. There's really no consistency with what Pokemon they pick. They skip all generations. Some are legendary, some are not. Some are like starter evolutions, some are just random Pokemon, and it's like, that's awesome on one hand, but then on the other hand, it's like, I would love to get each generation fully, completely done with their starters. I think that would be so cool, and I think a lot of people would really like that. Because it's really bothering me, because I think he is with Tepig, and Emboar, and then with Snivy to Superior, I think it's Superior. They would be awesome. Imagine Superior's just like a bunch of different ball pegs. It would be super cool, but I don't know. That's just my opinion. I think that they should get a little bit more consistent with their releases, because while I really like them, they're kind of all over the place. But yeah, looks pretty cool. In terms of scaling, I would say that he is a 6-inch scale. So here he is next to the 6-inch Jazware's Fortnite Series Peely, and then the NECA Silly Kong. So I don't think Samurott is that big. Like, I think like this is perfect. I could be wrong. I don't really check up on that stuff. And honestly, the scale of this line isn't great anyway, so I really don't care at this point. You do get Batman and Darwin, so you can have them next to him as well. And then, of course, you got to get Zombie Cap, and he looks fine as well. But yeah, I guess that this is good enough scale. Again, it's good enough for me, but I could see if, maybe he's a little small. I don't know. So you guys are probably wondering, yo, Ant, what are you thinking of this fig? And I gotta say, I wouldn't say I'm disappointed. It's exactly what I expected. I just don't think it's that great. Like, maybe it's me expecting too much, but I just don't think it's that great, and I think it could have been easily a lot better. But then again, maybe not, because they kind of did all they could. I don't know. I'm very flip-floppy with this release. Parts of me really, really like it, but then parts of me are like, it's not the most fun figure, and I can't really blame Jazwares for that. So, with all that in mind, they do really keep a really good price point on this. I mean, name another line that you can get all new sculpts all the time for $20, right? So, and big, decently sized figures as well. So, with all that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and give this guy a 6 or a 7 out of 10. It is not my favorite release. I do like that he comes with a bunch of accessories, and this one does give you more options than other figures, but it's still not great for me. So with all that in mind, I believe that's all I got for today. So if you have not already, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Also be sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I post a lot over there, and I have a lot of fun, so I'm sure y'all will too. But as always, let me know. You coppin'? See you guys in the next one. Peace.